Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. DeAndrea Matthews, founder and CEO of Clear Aldin Publications, an award-winning hybrid publishing company that is accredited by the Better Business Bureau and is a member of the Independent Book Publishers Association. Thank you for joining me today. It is almost the new year, and I wanted to make sure that I took a moment out to let everyone know about some upcoming changes to how we accept manuscripts at Clear Aldin Publications. So that's what today's video and live stream is going to be about. So if you're joining us live, welcome. If you are joining via the replay, just type in the comments hashtag replay. So welcome to our live stream today. I wanted to kind of share where we are as far as how Clear Aldin Publications is evolving as a publishing company. So one of the things that I do every year is I review our policies, I review how we are doing in a lot of different areas and make the necessary adjustments based on what is needed and what the data shows. So I always want to make data-driven decisions, which is what any CEO would want to do. So one of the things that's coming up for 2021 is we're going to have new submission requirements. Now, for those of you who have emailed us or who have been in contact with us, I would say probably within the last 45 days, you've already gotten a glimpse of what those new submission guidelines will be about. We did that soft launch to let everyone know and get everyone prepared, but officially it goes into place. Hello, Angelita. Thanks for joining. She's one of our amazing co-authors for the Overcomers Anthology Volume 2. Thanks for joining today. And anyone else who's on the live stream, just say hello so I'll know that you're here. So one of the things that we're doing officially come January 1, 2021 is there are going to be new submission guidelines. And what that means for any aspiring authors that you may know is that you will actually have to submit a book proposal for consideration. It does a couple things. What it does is it allows me to see how much the author has invested in their own book as far as what do you know about your manuscript? How are you able to describe your manuscript? Are you able to talk about it in a way that's really going to help me to help you to market your book and other things of that nature? Hey, Irel, that's my bestie, y'all. She's on here as well. Hello, Tanya Maddox. Thanks for joining. So I'm glad that everyone is having a healthy and happy day. And thanks for joining us for the live stream. So with these new submission requirements, I am requiring that anyone who wants to be published by Clear Aldin Publications submits a book proposal. And the book proposal includes a couple different things. So I'm going to just kind of show you what our new packet looks like. And this is the cover of the Clear Aldin Publications Writer's Guide to Publishing. And this is what I send to anyone who is interested in publishing with Clear Aldin Publications. If you like this, it is available on our PayHip site, which is you can click on from our main website. But you could also send an email to info@clearaldin.com, and I can send this to you if you're interested. But this is the cover. And again, the first page just lets you know a little bit about the company, our processes. Again, we use a 5-step book creation process that includes book production, book design, book marketing, book publishing, and book distribution. And that really helps me to be able to help you as an author to get your book out there in the best way possible, but also have a professional industry standard product. But what I want to focus on is more so the guidelines. Now, these are just, again, some information on how we do things and things of that nature. I won't go into all of that. I won't insult your intelligence by reading what's on the screen. But I want you to pay attention to the submission process, because this is the part that really has been updated for 2021. So in order to consider any author who's going to be published by Clear Aldin Publications, we're going to need a book proposal. And that book proposal simply includes an intake form. The intake form is very basic. I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. I do also ask for a sample chapter or at least 15 pages of the manuscript. I want to see what type of writer you are, what type of information I can expect from the manuscript. And again, that will give me a better idea of how much work is involved and how many additional hours may be needed in order to get this from a manuscript, again, the first draft manuscript from the author to really a masterpiece, which is what I do. My tagline is I turn manuscripts into masterpieces, and I really do that. And again, the sample chapter or the 15 pages that you submit with your book proposal really allows me to see what I'm working with and how much additional work needs to go into it in order to make it absolutely fabulous. And then also a competitive analysis. Now, you might be wondering, well, what is a competitive analysis? What is that for? Again, a part of the marketing that goes into any book really is knowing what other books are out there in your genre, knowing your genre, also knowing what are some similar books and how yours is different. I need authors to be able to understand that, because if you are invited on podcasts, as many of our authors are, if you are invited for any other type of public relations promo or article or video or even a news segment or anything else that a lot of our authors are being exposed to, you need to be able to talk about your book. So the competitive analysis allows you to be able to do that. At the bottom, you'll notice that there are some preferred genres. These are the 10 top genres that typically Clear Alden Publications publishes in. So autobiography, children's books, Christian nonfiction, entrepreneurship, family and relationships, history, inspirational, memoirs, religion and spirituality, and self-help. Now, if you ask me what my favorite of those are, I would probably say my favorite to read would be the memoirs. And my favorite to produce, as far as myself, would be Christian nonfiction. Now, that's just my personal preferences, but I appreciate all of the authors that I've already had an opportunity to work with, and I look forward to working with many more authors in the future. The other thing that I will share is, so this is a sample intake form, and this is included in the packet, because I'm not just going to say, hey, I need a book proposal, and not give you an example of what that looks like. So included in our writer's guide for publishing with Clear Alden Publications, you do have a sample intake form for new authors. So with this one, you see, and I'm going to make this a little bit larger. So you see that there is, again, the author name, again, basic information, the proposed book title. It says proposed book title because sometimes the book title changes. Now, a lot of times authors have an idea in mind of what they want their book title to be, which is great. I want you to know what you want your book title to be. But again, there will be professional recommendations throughout the process. And it says proposed book title because perhaps there is a name that would help your book to sell better, that is better, that is more descriptive of what your book is actually about. That is, again, going to be a better representation of that in the marketplace. Because again, it's not about the author personally anymore. Once you decide that you want to get published, it's about your readers and the audience that you're trying to reach. The overview of the book. Again, authors should be able to talk about what their book is about in a succinct fashion. Now, I'm not expecting you to have professional log lines and all of that, but you should be able to at least describe what your book is about in 1 or 2 sentences. If it is 5 paragraphs long and that's your description of the book, then obviously there's going to be some editing that's going to be done. And there may be a conversation to make sure that you understand really what an overview is, because people don't have, 5-10 minutes to stand there and listen to you go on and on and on about a character. You're supposed to be able to describe your book in a way that makes people want to know more and makes people want to ask you more. And that's what the overview is really about. Author bio, give me some information about you as an author. Why is it that you are, again, the person who is to be sought after for writing on this topic? That's going to really help to market your book a little bit better. And you should want to, again, highlight those things about you that really speak to your expertise about the book topic and the book title that you're writing on. And also in another video, I talked about how your author bio should not sound like an obituary. It should not start off with so-and-so was born in, and they have blank number of siblings, and their mother and father was. It should not read like an obituary. So you want to make sure that you highlight those things that speak to the topic that you are talking about. Your target audience. A lot of times when you talk to new and aspiring authors, you ask them, well, who is your book for? Who's your target audience? And they say, oh, everyone. And while your book may be purchased by a lot of different people, hey, Shar, thanks for joining. While your book may be purchased by a lot of different people in a lot of demographic and psychographic categories, there is a particular target audience that you should be thinking about and writing for as far as your target audience. And I want to make sure that authors understand a little bit about who their target audience is. Now, I don't expect you to have, again, Very detailed information. A lot of times, brand new authors don't know a lot, but you should have something in mind based on the information that you've already written. And then finally, a marketing plan. Do you have an idea in mind of how you're going to promote your book? Because as a hybrid publishing company, yes, there are some things that we do to help you to market your book, but ultimately, the book marketing is on the author. The author wants to have some things in mind that they're going to do to continue to promote their book even after their book launch, whether it's a virtual launch or whether it's a physical book launch. So those are a couple things to keep in mind. So again, that is your sample intake form. Now I'm also going to show a sample competitive analysis. So let me go to the next page. All right, so your sample competitive analysis. Again, a competitive analysis allows you as the author, thank you, Tanya, for sharing that. It allows you as the author to be able to look at what other books are similar to yours. It allows you to think about at least how your book is different from those books. Because if you're writing a book and it's a duplicate of what somebody else has written, why would they purchase your book over someone else's? That you need to know that. And that's your unique competitive advantage. Again, those are the types of things that I help authors to work towards understanding a little bit better. But in your sample competitive analysis, that's a part of the book proposal. It starts off simply with genre. Now, again, I've already given you 10 preferred genres on the previous pages that lets you know, okay, if I don't know anything about genre, I can look at these and figure out, okay, which one is mine closest to, and then put that down if you don't know. So genre, your title, again, your proposed book title, if there's a subtitle, and a lot of times nonfiction books do have subtitles because that lets the lets the reader know what your book is about. You might have a catchy title that's your title, but the subtitle really lets them know what the book itself is about. If you Then you have your author, who the publisher is, the year of publication, the page count, the price, the format. Format is either going to be audio, ebook, paperback, hardcover. Those are the most popular formats that you're going to see. And then, of course, the ISBN number. All of this information is available on Amazon. So if you look up any book that you like, you could pick any book and look it up on Amazon, and you're going to have all of this information available on that book page that pops up on Amazon. So this, again, is not something that's difficult to create, but it does take a little bit of investment of time for the author to be able to say, hey, these are the books that I feel are closest to my book. And it helps me as I'm developing, again, other aspects of marketing, or developing even your book bio, your book synopsis, and things of that nature. So that's why we are requiring that now as a part of the book proposal, as a part of our new submission requirements. Now, the other thing that I will share with you is that, so a lot of times, when we have new things that come out, people are worried, well, do I have to do that as well? Let me say this, there is an exception. So the exception for submitting a book proposal would be anyone who has already been previously published by Clear Aldin Publications. So if you've already been published by us, you do not have to submit a new book proposal. We've already worked with you. We know a little bit about you as an author. So anytime that a current Claire Aldin Publications author wants to produce a sophomore or a third novel, then of course just contact me. As many of us keep in contact, I let them know about lots of different opportunities around the city, the Metro Detroit area, or depending on where you're located, because we now have Claire Aldin authors in 10 states. So any authors who are currently published by Clear Aldin Publications do not have to submit the book proposal. That is the exception. But any brand new authors that are new to the Clear Aldin family of authors, we are requiring that you submit a book proposal for consideration. And again, the information that I've asked for it does take some time, but again, as an author, you are launching a business. It's not just a book that you're launching. It's not just a book that you're getting published. You're not just handing over your manuscript and getting back to paperbacks, and that's it. That's all that you have to do. There is work in being an author, and the little bit of investment of time in creating this book proposal is just, again, an entree, if you would, into the business of being an author. So, again, to kind of review where we are, a book proposal includes the intake form, and there is a sample intake form with this Writer's Guide to Publication. I require a preview of the manuscript, again, either the first chapter or the first 15 pages. You should have an idea of how you're planning to market your book. It shouldn't just be, friends and family. Friends and family are great. They're going to buy your first book because they love you, but that's not typically your target audience. And you need to actually have a plan in place for how you're going to, again, sell your book, particularly after the book launch. Thank you so much, Tanya. I appreciate that. And then the other thing that is to come, and this was not a part of this writer's guide previously. So for the soft launch, this information I'm about to share was not a part of that. It will be included in the updated version that will go out starting January 4th officially, but January 1st, 2021. And I say January 4th because that's the Monday, and that is the official start of business for the new year. So the other thing that's going to be new with the submission guidelines are the submission timelines. So with the submission timelines, thank you, Shari, I appreciate your feedback. In addition to the book proposal that I'd like for you to submit, there are going to be specific times throughout the year that we are accepting the book proposals. And I'll tell you why, because, I like being transparent. I like letting people know what's going on. What are some of the reasons behind why we do things the way that we do? So the new submission timelines will be February, May, August, and November. That means that if you're going to be submitting your book proposal, those are the months that we will be considering new authors. So 4 times during the year, once per quarter, and that's February, May, August, and November. The reason for that, and I'm going to see if I can pull up that information. I am playing around with dual screens for a change. So give me just a second to figure out if I can pull that up or not. So what I would like to do, y'all give me a second because I'm still playing around with this whole sharing your screen stuff. Okay, you know what? I did it real good the first time, but y'all just gonna have to listen to me. All right. So thank you, Sharon. Thank you for everyone's patience with me. Look, I like technology, but I am not the most savvy with 2 screens. These 2 screens is new for me. So just bear with me for a moment. But the reason that we are adjusting our timelines, instead of submitting your book proposal at any time throughout the year, it's important that we have these timelines once per quarter, because not only does it allow us to focus on the current authors that are in the queue, is what I call it, that are currently in the book creation process, but it also allows us to be able to submit. Hopefully, not everyone will not fall into these timelines. Everyone will not qualify for what's required, but it also allows us with these new submission timelines to submit more books for professional reviews. Now, I'm going to do a separate video that talks about the difference between professional reviews and consumer reviews. So we want to have this quarterly submission timeline because it will allow us as a company to be able to submit more authors' books for professional reviews with places like Forward Reviews or Clarion Review or other places that offer professional reviews. And the reason for this is with those professional reviews, you do have to submit 4 months prior to your publication date. That means that if you are planning to publish in June, then you would have had to submit your manuscript, your completed book, no later than February for a forward review. Now, that's on the very simplistic level, what you need to keep in mind, because it has to be submitted 4 months prior. However, forward reviews, for example, only accepts certain genres at different times of the year. And I'm looking at the calendar, their calendar, and I apologize, I'm not able to pull it back up. But for example, for January or February 2021, if you have a book that's coming out in January or February 2021, your submission for their professional review would have had to been submitted by September 15th. And for that particular issue, they're looking at writers of color, romance fiction, historical fiction, and they're also doing the health and wellness spotlight. I'm going to jump down to July and August of 2021. So, say, for example, if you are estimating that your book's going to come out in July or August of 2021, then that submission is due by March 15th. That's a little bit more doable. However, for the March 15th deadline with full reviews, they're only looking at social science titles, mysteries and thrillers, autobiographies, and memoirs. So, for example, any books that we're currently working on that fall into the category of autobiography or memoir, then definitely we want to try and make that March 15th deadline to be able to get a professional review. Again, by having these submission timelines quarterly, it allows us as a company to be able to offer more to the Claire Aldin family of authors, and it allows us to be able to do additional things as far as promoting the books. Good afternoon, Tanisha. Thanks for joining. And I'm so glad that you've stumbled upon our live stream today. Thank you again for everything that you do. So absolutely. So I just wanted to come on quickly. And if there are any questions, please post it in the comments. I'll be checking back even after the live stream is done, because I do understand that a lot of people may watch the replay, and that's great. If you're watching the replay, make sure you go ahead and put in hashtag replay. But just as a quick recap, there are new submission requirement guidelines going into effect January 1st, 2021 for Claire Aldin Publications. And I just went over again everything that goes into the book proposal. All of this information is included in the Writer's Guide to Publishing with Claire Aldin Publications. It has much more than that. It does also talk about, how things are priced, why we charge the rates that we do, what it includes, what it covers. But as far as the book proposal for consideration, the book proposal does include an intake form, a preview of the manuscript, which is typically the first chapter or the first 15 pages, and basic information as far as what's your marketing plan, what's your name, what's your title of your book, and things of that nature. And then the submission timelines are also the new part that is being added, and that will be February, May, August, and November. That means that we are only accepting book submissions or book proposals for consideration in February, May, August, and November of each year. All right, the question is, what if you wanted to publish a book of quotes? You can definitely publish a book of quotes. You want to make sure that you indicate who the quote is by. You would want to give that person, that author, that contributor their due, if you would. So you want to make sure that you have names for as many of the quotes as possible. Only include unknown if you actually are not able to find out who the author of that quote is. And that means that you do have to do some due diligence. So if you want to publish a book of quotes, absolutely you can. You want to look at what books of quotes are out there already. How is your book of quotes going to be different? What is the specific, again, topic, theme, or things like that. You'll want to think about things like that, so you'll know how this book of quotes is going to be different, and how, again, you can promote the book in a way that's going to get to your target audience. Hello, Erin. Thanks for joining. All right. I don't see any other questions. If it is your own quotes, then definitely you can, pull together a book of your own quotes. With something like that, you'll definitely want to have a good marketing plan in place first. So developing your own book of quotes is excellent if you have a strong social media following and a lot of people are sharing your quotes already. If not, that's something that you could definitely build up as a part of the process of preparing for having your own quotes. If you say, for example, share quotes on your group page or on your public page, and it doesn't get a lot of shares yet, then you'll want to work on, again, that like and know factor. And again, there's some other videos that I've done that really talk about building your author brand, building your author platform. And that's going to be important if it's your own quotes, because if people don't know you, if they don't know your quotes, then they really they're not invested to purchasing a book of quotes yet. So again, that's something that we could talk about offline, but definitely a good idea. You just want to make sure that you build your author platform and build your following so that your target audience knows what you're about to do. And for anyone, this is true for anyone, your marketing of your book should start 6 months prior to your publication release, at least 6 months in advance. And that's because you want to work on building your book, building your author platform. You also want to build momentum around the book title and the book information, the book content itself. So I'm going to stop there. If there are additional questions, I'm happy to answer them, but I really wanted to make sure that everyone knew what was coming up as far as getting your book published with Clear Aldin Publications, and also learning about those submission timelines and why these new policies are going into place. So thank you for joining me today. Again, go back and watch the replay if you missed any information, and you can send an email to info@clearaldin.com if you would like a copy of the new writer's guide for publishing with Clear Aldin Publications. So that is in the comments as well. I look forward to hearing from each one of you. And again, we're currently on holiday closure, but we are back to work starting Monday, January 4th, 2021. I hope everyone has a safe and happy remaining holiday season. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.